The year is 1990 something, and people figured it out. Music fucking sucks. Throughout the 80s, there was plenty of good music, don't get that wrong, but a lot of the mainstream shit was very plastic and just pushed by the label, and the kids had enough of it. So, inspired by the DC punk scene, which by the way, has inspired every single genre of music that you will ever listen to, if you disagree with me, fuck you, you're wrong. So hitting the studio, they start making their Nirvanas, their Pearl Jams, their Soundgardens, their Alice in Chains, their Stone Temple Pilots, you know, their grunge. And these kids along the coast are loving the grunge. They're eating that shit up. Ooh, please, Eddie Vedder, sing like a frog. I'm joking, Eddie, I love you. I love you. Please don't hate me. I like you. Please, Eddie, don't hate me. But the kids in Middle America weren't feeling it. It wasn't sad enough or pathetic enough or pretentious enough. And I know what you're thinking, whoa, dude, slow down. Weezer exists. They made a whole album about trying to get into a girl's pants who ended up being gay. Yes, they tried Weezer. That wasn't pretentious enough either. So these kids in the Midwest get really good at their instruments and get really good at screaming and whining and crying about a girl over and over and over and over and over. So these kids in the Midwest start taking a lot of inspiration from the DC punk scene. Told you, motherfucker. And they start to do their own spin. A little bit more emo. The difference is, with these kids in the Midwest, is that they have nothing to do because they live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So they're really, really good at their instruments. So they start laying down the most beautiful shit you'll hear in your entire life. Fronted by a guy who can whine a lot. Whether it's beautiful poetry written about a girl he couldn't get over in 7th grade, or just screaming and stating the fact, I cannot get over you. I still love you. Please come back to me, Samantha, from the 7th grade math class. It's beautiful. In fact, I would say it's some of the best music you can find in the entire world. Because it's raw. Nothing is more pure than a fucking loser screaming. So the basement kids go to play in some basements. And honestly, only the basement kids are fucking with it. But they decide, you know what, it's fine. 30 years down the line, your kids are gonna love this shit. Fast forward 30 years, and they were fucking right. These quirked up white boys cannot get enough of this screaming. But don't get it twisted. Midwest emo has always been here. Throughout the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, it's always been here. And it started to build cliches and tropes within its scene. Because you know how the story goes. Kids listen to bands, and then kids make their own bands. But these kids that are listening to these cliche bands, who are inspired by the cliches, then make cliche bands who inspire other kids to make their version of the cliche, which is just a big snowball effect until it becomes a big homogenized piece of shit. So I know what you're thinking. Okay, big guy, you think you're so cool because you know shit about music. Ooh, I can say things like homogenized. Yep, had to Google what that meant before I said it. So get on your high horse. Show us how it's done. How do you make a shitty song? Slow your roll there. I didn't say Midwest emo was shitty. I fucking love Midwest emo. I fuck with it. Some would say heavy. In my opinion, there are 3 things you need to make a shitty Midwest emo song. And that is halftime breakdown, sick licks, and whining about a girl. So, let's hit the studio. Of course, you gotta start out with the backbone of every song, the drums. And Midwest emo drummers are some of the best drummers you'll ever hear. Or it's a guy who was in middle school band and knows 2 fills and just plays those 2 fills a lot. But it doesn't matter, because it's fucking drums. Next up is the bass. Midwest emo bass lines are very hit or miss. They're either fucking insane and just like, whoa, what the H word, or it's just playing the fucking root note. And a lot of these newer Midwest emo bands, a lot of the bassists are like fucking 6'8", fucking linebackers. You know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Not my bassists. Bring back the fucking dork-ass bassists, bro. I want them back. I don't want these cool bassists. They're pissing me off. And how could you forget that sparkle? The guitar. You gotta have cool licks. Jangly tone, I don't know, it's the guitar. There's a lot of tapping and shit, and like, you gotta know your scales, or you could just fucking not. And then you have the cream of the crop, the vocals. If you're not screaming and whining, what the fuck are you doing? It's Midwest emo, motherfucker. Get on that mic and start going, ah! But make sure you're either whining about a girl, or about your old town, or just, you know, being like, wow, am I a bad person? The answer's yes most of the time, by the way. You fucking suck. You're not a good guy. It's kind of a shame that from the outside view, Midwest emo is just a big cliche, and it's just like oh, it's the whining shit, you know what I mean? But I truly believe Midwest emo is some of the best music in the world. You know, it is unfiltered, just fucking sadness. Most of the time, it's very stream of conscious, and that's fucking beautiful. And I love the way it's produced horribly, and it's just like, it's just bad. It's just garbage. It's just shit. But it's fucking beautiful, dude. I fucking love it so much. And you know, when you try to make fun of somebody for listening to Midwest emo, which is fine, that's completely valid, just remember, the kids want to scream again. So just let them scream.